There are two types of people that we're dealing with when it comes to cannabis legalization. We're dealing with Flintstones and Jetsons. And what we're doing is we're asking a bunch of Flintstones to make the rules to a Jetsons game.
So what got you into cannabis? Like, what was your calling?
Oh, wow. So I'm also a veteran, and so about 4 years ago, I testified in Senate committee to have post-traumatic stress disorder added as a qualifying condition to the New Jersey medical marijuana program. And in 2016, then Governor Chris Christie signed my bill into law, S2345. So when we got post-traumatic stress disorder added as a qualifying condition, that was the thing that sort of kind of put me on the map in terms of the cannabis industry through activism. And so through the activism, the business revealed itself to me. And so understanding that the evolution into the activist entrepreneur was the inevitable. And so we co-founded, I co-founded Cannagather, New Jersey, which was, one of the largest and most diverse networking and educational platforms for the cannabis industry and the cannabis profession.
Yeah, so you're doing a lot to educate people to move the initiative forward, right?
Yes.
And past Cannagather, what are some of the other things that you're doing now, especially now that New Jersey's kind of rolled things back?
Right.
What is the current initiative? What does it look like?
Well, remember when I was saying how, through activism, the business sort of kind of reveals itself. And part of what was revealed was the lack of education. When you talk to the general population, their formal education on cannabis is grossly below basic. And so, because we still say gateway drug over here, we still say dope, and we're, like if this was a television show, you and I are in season 8, episode 6. They're in season 1, episode 3. Spoiler alert, it's not a gateway drug. That's the season finale. That's season 1. And so what I'm trying to do is I'm really trying to, I want folks, especially elected officials, when you make a decision, whether you vote for this or you vote against it, as a citizen, I'd like to know my elected officials are making the most informed decisions that can be made. And so partnering with the Cannabis World Congress Business Expo and being able to invite these elected officials along with the general population, come see what the science, technology, engineering, art, and math of this industry is like in physical carnage, rather than speak ill on it on a theoretical basis. Because what my travels has taught me in this industry is that there are two types of people that we're dealing with when it comes to cannabis legalization. We're dealing with Flintstones and Jetsons. And what we're doing is we're asking a bunch of Flintstones to make the rules to a Jetsons game. And
I like
the
that.
Flintstones know exactly who the Flintstones are, because they say gateway drug. They still call this dope. They tell on themselves. They can't even help it. I mean, come on, man. I mean, we haven't said gateway drug in years.
Yeah.
Sort of kind of like
Or marijuana even.
Right, yeah, we don't even say that, yeah.
And as far as, we've been seeing a lot of CBD companies here. We've been seeing a lot of different types of businesses. Nobody really focused on operating a license for THC really though, right? So where do you think that's going to start to turn on the East Coast in New Jersey and in New York? What do you think a lot of these regulations are going to start being put in place, and when these states are going to start to fall, so we could see some of these operators come in and increase patient access?
You want the truth?
Yeah.
You really want to ride this train?
I think everyone wants to know the truth.
Okay. A lot of old people got to die. Now, let me fix that. Let me clean it up a little bit. I'm not talking about the ones in like the senior citizen homes and stuff like that. I'm talking about the ones in the State House, in the Capitol House, And let me say this. The reason why I say they got to die too is because there's no voting these people out. Voting is a problem here on the East Coast. Here, in particular in New Jersey, people just don't vote. So if there's no voting these people out, then what do we have to do? We have to just wait for them to die. I know it sounds rough, don't get me wrong. And mind you, that designation, Flintstone and Jetson, that designation transcends gender, race, political ideology, religious ideology, and more importantly, those designations transcend age, because there's some young ass Flintstones out there too. So it's not. So if you're thinking that I'm calling you a Flintstone because I think you're old, wrong. It's what you're saying. You're telling yourself. As soon as I hear gateway drug, I already know I know more than you. And so that's why, I'm saying at this point, those of us who are in this industry already, we're probably going to have to be the ones to do it for everybody else.
All right, so again, man, here with the man Leo Bridgewater. Thank you for your time, man. It's always great linking with this guy. If you come to the East Coast, make sure you try to get in his ear if you can.
All right.
If you can't, keep trying again.
Thanks, guys, for having me. I love you, man. I'm proud of you, man.
Oh, yeah.